Reversing chronic disease with bugs. What is she talking about today? So we're talking about the good bugs in your gut. So your gut microbes, called your microbiome. We're talking about the fact that when you look at disease, what are the chronic diseases we're trying to avoid? Heart disease, diabetes, cancer, dementia. These chronic diseases are really profoundly related to our lifestyle. Dr. Martin Blaser wrote a book, Blaser with a B, wrote a book called Missing Microbes. So he's talking about these participants in our gut, and he went around the world to various insulated places on the planet. One was Papua New Guinea, and found tribes there that were completely insulated. They were off the crossroads of the world completely, and looked at their stool, their poop. And what he found was this incredible diversity. And why it's significant is that these people don't suffer from the chronic diseases that we do in across the world in industrialized nations. And these people didn't have any of that. Okay, you didn't see obesity, you didn't see diabetes, you didn't see heart disease. So he looked at their stool and he found this incredible diversity of microbes that we don't have. And studies have since been done about, okay, so we're missing good guys and we have too many bad guys. Why do we have too many bad guys? That we know. The bad microbes are from things like sugar and highly processed foods. There's a lot, 80 some odd percent of our diet calorically is from ultra processed foods. Believe it or not, it's pretty hideous. And these are not fostering the growth and the good population of these good microbes that are so protective. Not just protective against diabetes and obesity and heart disease and dementia, but mood balance and weight balance. So you can't really cite enough benefits of these good microbes. So you go, okay, good. How do we get them? Dietary diversity of foods that are providing nourishment for these microbes. So you're talking about a fiber. So soluble and insoluble fibers that feed these microbes. And you've heard about probiotics and prebiotics. So the probiotics in the capsule, that's one thing, but how much is that probiotic capsule going to make a huge impact on your microbiome if you're taking a capsule a day, versus if you really change your diet and are really ingesting a huge variety of prebiotics, they're called. So these are coming before the probiotics, and these are nourishment, these are food, these are fibers that these good bacteria love. And that's what we want to focus on, is what can you eat day in and day out that is going to keep giving them the food they love. And then you change the environment of your microbiome to this anti-inflammatory, healthy environment versus the pro-inflammatory environment that so many of us have in this country and other industrialized nations as well. So, we want to focus on some basic apples. Apple a day keeps the doctor away. It wasn't bad advice. So apples are high in a fiber that feeds the good bacteria. So are bananas. Now with bananas more on the green side, so not the super overripe, super sweet. But if you like a little bit on the underripe side, then bananas are particularly good in certain fibers. So are asparagus and Jerusalem artichokes. What else was on my list? Oh, how could I forget? I'm Italian. Garlic and onions have wonderful prebiotics in them, as well as leeks and my other favorite, legumes. So beans and peas and lentils have a lot of these fibers in them that feed the good bacteria. So, so if you said, if you kind of looked out your door and you said, okay, there's a healthy population of organisms that if you feed them, they will give you good health. And there's an unhealthy population. You feed them, they're going to make you sick. I mean, it's kind of that simple. So who do you want to feed, right? Do you want to feed the good guys or do you want to feed the bad guys? So the foods I just listed are very high in these fibers, and that will give you health, by feeding the good guys. And so you want them regularly in your diet. Also, fermented foods are another source of feeding these good bacteria, like kimchi and sauerkraut and pickles. What else? Miso and tempeh, apple cider vinegar. All of these things are, sorry, just a question just ran by and I didn't see it. Oh, feed the good guys. Yep, you want to feed the good guys. That's exactly right. And these fermented foods are also very, very good. Now, if you're not used to fermented foods, you want to start on a gradient. If you're not used to eating too much in the way of fruits and vegetables, you also want to start on a gradient, because you also have to appreciate that when all you have is bad guys and you have very few good guys, and we do analyses of our patients all the time to assess through a stool test of not only who the bad guys are that are creating issue, but how much good guys are present. And more, and we never used to see this, but more and more we're seeing hardly any good bacteria, which is pretty scary. And so for these individuals where fruits and vegetables are a bit of a foreign kind of territory to be marching through, you want to start on a gradient, nice and gentle. And if you find that raw is a little harsh on your gut, then steam, saute, really cook, well, not the fruit, but, well, yeah, you can have applesauce. You can cook these vegetables and make sure they're cooked enough so that, again, you're just very gradiently increasing the good guys. And that's so important. So it happens over time. You can't just go, okay, tomorrow, that's it. We're on for fermented everything and a huge salad, and then you get a gut ache and you get mad at me. So let's not do that. Let's do it on a gradient. Dr. Will Bulsiewicz talks about plant points. He talks about, getting plant points. I'll have to answer that question later. So Dr. Will talks about plant points, and he's just like, kind of be mindful of, how many servings of plants are you getting? So this includes seeds, and it includes nuts, and it includes all the fruits and vegetables I just listed, all fruits and vegetables for that matter, and legumes. And so you just want to kind of like try to start populating your diet with these plants that have these great fibers that will feed the good guys. So that's what it's all about. Thanks. Oh, you're welcome. So I hope this was helpful, because right now I'm filming this in mid-November. Let's see, question, can acid reflux cause very bad chest pain? Absolutely. Acid reflux can cause very bad chest pain, such that people are convinced they're having a heart attack and are going off to the ER. Now, if you have very bad chest pain, you don't necessarily know if it's acid reflux or it's really heart attack. So you do want to make that journey to the ER urgent care and make sure. Sorry, a bit of a diversion here, but it was a good question. But I have patients who have more of a hiatal hernia syndrome, which is one of our specialties, and they've already been to the ER multiple times, and they're like, listen, it's not your heart, and they've been to the cardiologist who says it's not your heart. So at that point, then you're in more of the land of the acid reflux. But yeah, that burn pressure can be really severe, and you can have heart palpitations. So but I've got a lot of videos on that point. Another question, I've always chest pain and I go to the ER and the EKG is always okay. Yeah, so definitely reach out to me, whoever that just was, and we can talk about how to handle that chest pain. But back to our good microbes and our healthy gut is go slow. Also herbs and spices. That's another way to bring in variety. One thing I do is, I have a couple of ingredients in the refrigerator, and then I just kind of search for recipe ideas. I'm like, the other night, I was like, okay, carrot and parsnip soup of some sort, and it had a lot of great herbs and spices in it that are really helpful for you, like turmeric and ginger, that are very anti-inflammatory. So these are some good ways to get variety in. I suffer with daily palpitations. Yes, heart palpitations, I understand. Definitely reach out to me, please, here at the clinic, and we can help with that. So I hope this was some good information. As I was saying, I'm filming this in November, and we're just about to go into that wonderful season of eating terribly and gaining weight and getting sick and getting stressed out. And there's also some beautiful aspects of the holiday, but unfortunately, in our country, we tend to really lean into those terrible dietary habits that are more likely to get you sick with flus and colds, and also gain weight and just be pro-inflammatory. So this is a great time. Thanksgiving is actually in a week, and what can you do to really increase those plant points, increase your fiber, feed the good guys instead of the bad guys? If you like this content, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.